Welcome back to the channel Tripping with Retirees. The retirees is on a snow drive, so we never thought we'll take this trip. We never knew about it a few hours ago. But when reading our social media pages, we saw snow was going to be falling in Sutherland. We quickly threw some things in a bag, got in our vehicle, headed out on the N1 through the Huguenot Tunnel out to the X River Valley where the skies were totally overcast. Snow had already fallen on the mountain peaks of the X River Mountains, and we were on our way to Sutherland. We made our vehicle nice and comfy inside, and sooner or later we were in Mikey's Fontaine to have some coffee and breakfast. And then it was off to Sutherland on the R54. We had some funny shaped clouds on the way, and then it was an hour later, and we were in a favorite little town called Sutherland. So we were greeted by dark clouds and looked like heavy rains coming. And we suddenly doubted the snow report because normally when it rains, you don't find snow. We headed off to our accommodation, checked in, got in our vehicle, and headed up to the mountain where the salt telescope is. But look at these temperatures at that time. It was 4 degrees, but it feels like -5. And I more believe the -5 because it was ice cold. And while driving up to the salt telescope, there were no signs of snow. In fact, there was some sunshine, and we kind of doubted this weather report. So we stuck around there, took some pics of the Karoo landscape from the top down, then on the mountain through to Fraserburg, and look how beautiful it looked with no snow. That evening, we headed for the hotel for supper in Sutherland, where there were fires burning and a lovely meal to be served. We spent some time there as the match was on TV, and then we headed off for our accommodation. The next morning, we woke up and we were welcomed by a snowfall during the night. Everything was dotted in white snowflakes. Our vehicle was covered with snow, and we had to first clean it off a bit before we could get in. But yes, there was snow, so we did not waste our time coming to Sutherland, and we were thrilled that we were in the snow at last. So enjoy the ride with us through the town. It will be a little while of driving, but you'll see how the snow covered everything. Sit back and relax and enjoy. The little town of Sutherland was nicely covered with snow. Everywhere, driveways, entrances, pavements, all had some snow. And the residents, I'm sure, and the visitors there were quite happy to see the snow at last because this is what they came for, and this is what Sutherland is famous for, amongst many other things. If you have the time, don't ever doubt that Sutherland is a small town and there is nothing to do. I can tell you there are lots to do. It's been our third visit to this town, and yes, every time we go there, we really enjoy ourselves. So this is on the road to the Salt Telescope, where more snow fell, and it was actually quite thick here. So we drove down this road to see if we could find a deep dive of snow to build a snowman and not realizing how cold it is outside our vehicle. As you can see, all the little stones and rocks are covered with snow. We stopped off at the picnic spot just to take some pics again, but there was no seating place because the snow covered the seats. And this bottle, you don't have to add ice because it's already got it. So you just need to add the other portions to it. But just look how pretty this is. Absolutely gorgeous. It's like a blanket that covered the town. And of course, we were there to see it. So, for a hint for everybody who want to go to Sutherland, the Sol telescope is the main reason why people do go here. Please check your weather report because when it's overcast, the telescope is closed because obviously the cloud cover would be too heavy. So check with them or check your weather report to see if it's clear skies. And I can tell you, it is an amazing experience to look through that telescope and see out into space and look at planets. This was not the perfect weekend for that either. So the 3 times we've been to Sutherland, we could only do that once. And that was only because we did not know about cloud cover that was going to come through. This time we did not book because the main purpose was to see the snow. So while driving, we found some deeper snowdrops and we attempted to build a snowman. But I can tell you it's way too cold to do that. There was no chance. So it's a quick proof of we were there. This is us in the snow and back in the vehicle again. And we rather rode around looking at it because out in the snow was just way too cold. Hubby obviously wore the wrong shoes and he didn't know that the snow was going to have him get wet feet. I, of course, knew this and I put on my proper snow boots. But yes, next time he'll put on his correct boots, which he had in the vehicle though. I took a pic of snowflakes really close up. So this is what snowflakes look like when you're really close. And after a few hours of driving around and fooling around there, we decided it's time to head back home again before it gets too dark on the roads. So we headed home, but not leaving snow behind for more than an hour. So it snowed for quite in a large area of the Karoo. So the Karoo is normally known to be very hot, but it's also known to be very cold. So we headed out on the R58 again on our way to Cape Town and admired the snow along the road. So there's an alternate way to go to Sutherland or from Sutherland back to Cape Town. You could go through the Tankwa National Karoo, then through to Ceres, Mitchell's Pass, and then on your way to Cape Town. But we were not sure if the pass was open or if snow had fallen there, so we just opted for the safe route, which we were familiar with, and we'll do the other one on another day. And no sooner did the snow stop and the rain was falling again. And then we knew this is Western Cape weather. So our holiday ended with this beautiful rainbow across the mountains. And that was the end of the snow trip. Thank you for watching, and I ask you please like, subscribe, and share this video. It will really help the channel. Thanks again.